Hello and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's actually night and I've been in the kitchen cooking all day today. So there's actually a video coming out on that. But tonight we are going to be, oh, there's no light, working on block 4 of the Sew Sampler. So this is Fat Quarter Shop's Sew Sampler. Press Flowers Quilt Along. This comes in the Sew Sampler subscription box, or you can order it on their website. If you go look in my description, I do have a link that gets you a discount also. But we're just going to get started on this. This flower is called Lily of the Valley. If you saw my last video that I did a pressed flower block, what I'm trying to do is catch up with my pressed flowers. I've only received 2 subscription boxes because I was kind of late to the game here. And I got blocks 5 and 6 in my Sew Sampler. So I went online and purchased these individually. So we're just going to get right on into it, sewing this block, because I want to get this one done quickly because my next Sew Sampler box is on its way already. So, and actually by the time you see this video, it will already be here and I will probably already have the block done. So what we're going to start off doing here is we're going to take, these are the only fabrics I'm using right now on this block. It's just 4 different fabrics. We will start with these 2. And we are just going to sew them together. I don't know if you can see this or not. We're putting them right sides together. We're just going to get started. And as always, what I do is I check my bobbin and my thread before I get started. If you recall the last one, I had a lot of problems with my thread. My bobbin ran out, which I knew it was going to. I was watching for that. I anticipated that. I had my thread break. I had my camera die. I think maybe I just wasn't meant to record. And that was actually last night. I'm hoping my camera has enough power to it because I have been recording all day today. You will probably, I don't know if you'll see it before this video or not. It's just according to what rotation it's on as to when the cooking video comes out as opposed to a sewing video. I'm undoing this. I sure did not get those. I'm showing you what I did. This right here and that right there. I could do better. And that is the beauty of sewing. You can always, and notice how I'm seam ripping. I put the ball down here under the thread. And then I just hold it and just go straight across. And it rips the whole seam out. You don't have to pick the stitches. You just rip the seam. Okay, let's try this again. I think I got it off while I was trying to get that string out of the way. Pretty certain that's what happened. I'm going to try this again. It looks like this block doesn't have an extreme amount to it, so it should hopefully, it will be a fairly quick block. So I'm hoping you guys are doing great. It is actually Friday, and it's Friday night. It's late. It's not real late, but for me it's late because I've been up early. I actually had to go in for a little bit today. Our computer systems were down yesterday at work, and I do payroll and timekeeping and inventory. I guess that's what you want to call it all. But I love it. I mean, I love my job. But I had to go in and make sure, you know, we're end of payroll is Sunday, and I had to go in and make sure everyone had a work card in for the day. I had to make sure everybody's hours was in there, so the supervisor could approve it. So I messaged him this morning to let him know, hey, it's all ready, good to go. I'm going to press these and bring you right back. Anyway, I had to go back so my supervisor could approve the time. And we didn't have to worry about this. We're just taking these two, folding them together, nesting that seam, and I'm trimming off those threads. There we go. But anyway, had to get them, make sure all my people are paid. And then I had to check my inventory, because I have to report the inventory every 2 weeks. I have to report our diesel and our oil every 2 weeks. So that's what I had to do this morning. Of course, I have my standard, everything I do every Friday morning. Every Friday morning I get up, I do a drop off at what is called our Care and Share here. It's a local donation shop. Anyway, it's our local donation shop, and I had a truckload of stuff to go to them. This is our first square that we have made. But anyway, I did my local drop-off. Then I went to the office. Then I did my grocery pickup. Then I went and got my truck washed. That's my normal Friday morning thing. So we have this first block done. So the next thing I have is my A blocks and my E blocks. We're going to do, I've already drawn the line. And I am going to sew 1/4 inch each side of the line. So let's make sure we are matching up here. these blocks are now completed. We have 4 of these. I'm going to put my completed blocks up here towards the top of my tray and move my pieces that I'm using down. Now our next step is going to be doing the same thing with, this is the H right here, and E, which this is E. Pieces of fabric here. This is E, this is H, and pull my machine back. And it says make 4, so in other words, we're going to be sewing 2 of these together, and once we slice it or cut it, it will be 4. Yeah, I didn't do that on the other one. I sewed all of them and made more than I needed. But used up fabric I didn't need to use up, so I had to cut more. And I will be doing the same to these 2 blocks as I did the other 2. And I looked away and just really got off of the line. Now this does say one of these we will not use, so I have to keep that in mind. I'm going to have a spare piece of fabric here. Maybe I'll use it in a different block. If not, I can always take it apart, because I'm sure I'm going to need a half square triangle somewhere. Or I can cut a smaller block out of it. You never know. I like being able to use every single little piece of it, and I hate that I wasted those other 2 squares, because I wasted a square of the white and I wasted a square of the red. But you know, that's part of quilting. You live and learn, and it's a good learning experience for sure. On this quilt, I have learned a lot, because you know, I've not done any of these stitches like the half square triangles. I mean, this is all still really new to me. And we are back with these. I've picked out the 3 best ones here to put over in my tray to assemble the blocks with, or assemble the block with. And the last thing we do is we take another A block and an I block, and this will make 2. You guys may hear my cat here in a second. He's going to start talking to me probably. He's been very talkative today. I don't know why. But we are going to do the same thing with this one. And I will bring you back once I've got this one pressed and ready to go too. Last set of, I guess they're called half square triangles, done. So the next thing we do is we're going to sew these together like we did these. I will bring you back when they're done. This is our last block before we start assembling the block. The last square before we assemble the block. So what I'm going to do is, we have two of the B block, and we have two of this block. I'm going to go on and sew this to the B block. Like my machine is walking away from me here. And I know that's making a horrendous noise when I pick my scissors up or when I do anything on the desk. I realize that in the editing that little old mic picks up everything that goes on near it. So, okay, this is our first long strip assembled. And this is going to be our strip that goes this direction across the bottom. I try to bring you along for the assembly part because that's normally where I always have hiccups. Like getting it to match up here. I'm just going to do it from the top side, even though I have a seam that goes the opposite direction. I'll just keep my finger on it to make sure it goes under properly. Make sure it's meeting up that edge right there. It might not have gone under right, but I think it did. That looks okay. Okay, so this is the one that goes across the bottom. This is the one that goes across the top here. And then we have this little block right here, square, that I'm going to attach to this bottom right here. And it goes together this direction. Notice I flipped that because that seam's going downward. And I just like sewing the seams that are going downwards on the top, because it's still going to be the same whether I sew it from the other side or this side, because it's how the square is made. Okay, I gotta grab a hold of that. My fingers are not wanting to grab, or the fabric's not wanting to be grabbed, one of the two. But yeah, I'm so excited about catching up on these blocks because these are some beautiful blocks. And I'm really excited to get caught up on these, because once I get caught up on these, I want to make my oldest daughter a quilt for Christmas, because my youngest daughter and my son will be getting one for their babies, which I know it isn't one for them, but I just don't feel like it's fair that cumulatively they both get a quilt and she doesn't. So I want to make her a quilt, and she has worked very hard for the past couple years. She's recently, last year, graduated in pharmacy, and she got her pharmacist license, and she's been working really hard. So I think it'd be nice to do something like that for her. But yeah, it's not perfect, but it's beautiful, I think. So now what we are going to do is, I'm going to press these first, so they'll actually join better. Okay, we are pressed, but this is not the first thing I'm doing. I'm moving these over out of the way. I'm just going to set them right here under the edge of my machine. I am going to work from left to right on the top row. This is going to be the placement. This is going to be the placement of the first row. I know that's hard to see on the... I'm going to pull this one down out of the way, fold this one over, and we're going to just get to this. I am hoping this matches up real nicely. We may be able to make quick work of this piecing, because it seems fairly straightforward. And I don't know if it's maybe because I'm getting more comfortable with the piece, you know, piecing the blocks together. I am getting more comfortable doing the blocks. I'm not as afraid of them anymore, because I mean, let's face it, this is definitely a real fear making a quilt for me, because this fabric is very expensive. Well, you know, if you look at the time and the fabric and all that you put into it, it's very expensive, but it's going to be so worthwhile. So worthwhile. It's because I'm going to end up with a beautiful quilt at the end. And I'm not going to press my squares just yet, or my strips just yet. I'm going to wait until I have all of them and then press them all at one time. So this is my first row, top row. And now we're working on the middle row. Okay. This is what our middle row is going to look like. And yeah, this is where, now I know I mentioned it in the last video, but if you trim your blocks to the size that it says it is supposed to be, this is where you can tell, this is where it makes a difference right here. Because all of your strips and pieces just match up beautifully if you have trimmed up and everything is correct. Now, I might have got off a little bit there, but no, it didn't. Well, I don't think it did. I think what it is, it's that seam makes it look like it got off. Okay, I just held that seam down there. Okay. It's so strange for me to see that on the top. I'm just used to the red looks heavy and it feels like it should be on the bottom. But it's not. It's on the top. So I'm putting the second piece right there. Serious concentration there. I have a stiletto. I don't know why I keep using my scissors. I guess because they're right here and it's just easier to grab them. Okay, that is our second row. And third row, that's going to be our third row. And it looks like these seams here are going to nest. And this right here is definitely, when you trim your blocks and they match up, they nest beautifully. And I'm going to tell you guys, this one actually did. I feel like I did something good here. I'm getting more comfortable, like I said, with it. I guess so much so that my husband was actually looking for me a sewing machine today. Because I told him I wanted a one that's got a bigger neck right here, so I can actually quilt my quilts. Because I do like to quilt my quilts. But, you know, on the sewing machine I can do it. I've quilted 2 baby quilts on it. I'm going slow because I've got these nested seams right here, and I just want to make sure they stay together. And make sure that is, it feels like they're still together. Got a kitty cat over here around my legs. Okay. In our next block, our square. I keep calling these blocks squares or blocks to me. Okay, that is the last of our rows. I am going to press all of this out and I will be right back. We're all pressed. Now our next thing is to start putting our rows together. Now these I will pin because I have 2 seams that have to nest. Now I see why they wanted us to press these outwards, but I didn't. Well, these aren't even nesting because they're going the same direction. Okay, and I'm matching up at that top corner. Okay, and here we go. This corner down here does nest as well. And it actually does nest. I didn't catch that before, but it does nest. So I'm going to hold those together. There we go. Let's see if those nestings did okay. Well, it looks okay. I mean, this is over a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. Lord. Okay, I'm going to get this under this needle here and then just get it going. I'm ready to see this block completed. It's not been a hard block, but it definitely has been a learning block because a lot of the pattern, you know, how the pattern reads is different. I didn't understand it. Like I said, you know, I'm still kind of new, so I don't know all the lingos on the patterns, so it's just a learning curve. So let's see how this one did. I didn't come directly to my point right there like it was supposed to, I don't think. I'm going to go in and press this and bring you right back. Have this pressed out. So the next thing we are going to do is put the side piece over here on, which is this right here. Just going to fold it over. Right now we're dealing with this block, so okay, I've got to check this under here. It was kind of turned up a little bit. That's why it is good to check on all of your seams as you're sewing over them. Check them before you sew over it to make sure they are positioned correctly. Okay, take that pin out there. And then I'm going to make sure I'm even on this edge here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and press this also. Okay, that is pressed. This is going to be a pretty big block. Yeah, it looks like it's the same size as the rest of them have been, but wow, this one seems huge. Okay, I've got my seams nested. And now I'm just sewing this. I'm having to help guide this for some reason. I don't know if it's a thickness there that's causing it to pull. It just could be this machine. It could be user malfunction. It could be a lot of different things. Okay. Making sure those seams are turned correctly. Y'all, we are just about done. I'm going to keep you in suspense a little longer while I press it. I am back from the pressing, and this is what we have. This is the 4th block completed. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to lay it flat where you can see it. The 4th block completed and in the books. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like this type of content, please click that subscribe button. That's the little round button on the bottom right hand side. That's got a little barn on it. That's your subscribe. Click that notification bell and you'll receive a notification every time I upload new content. Leave a comment. Let me know how you think this went, if you're doing this block or anything quilting. I'm new. I may not have any answers. So I may be able to show you what not to do, tips, tricks, things that I've encountered quilting. So, and I like to chit chat. So just leave a comment. I will reply. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.